I grew up in Springtown, Texas, small town outside of Fort Worth. I graduated high school in 1966. Went to Tarleton State College in Stephenville. Uh, Mainly, I went to college because back then the war was going hot and heavy, and nobody really wanted to go. So I thought I wanted to go to college instead, try to avoid it. But college really wasn't for me. My fall of my junior year, I kept missing too many classes, so I dropped out and got my draft notice 2 days after Christmas in 1968, and I was inducted into the Army on January 16th, 1969, in Dallas at the recruitment center, and then they took us to Fort Bliss in El Paso for basic training. Spent, I don't know, I can't remember, it was 12 weeks or whatever, I believe what basic was back then. Your basic Army training. Then from there, I didn't get a leave between basic and AIT. They shipped us straight to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri for our advanced training, which mine turned out to be, the Army called it crawler tractor operator, which is a bulldozer in layman's terms. Spent another 12 weeks there. Then after graduation from that school, I got a 23-day leave with orders for Vietnam after that leave was over. So I went back home for 23 days, and then flew out to, let's see, I'm trying to remember, it was Oakland, California, where we exchanged all of our stateside uniforms for jungle fatigues, jungle boots, turned in certain things and that they didn't want us to have over there. But anyway, then we all boarded a plane, a chartered airliner, I believe the name of it was Airlift International. I can't remember exactly how many there were, but it was a good sized plane. We made 2 refueling stops. We flew to Anchorage, Alaska to refuel there, then to, trying to remember the base in Japan where we landed. I think it was Yokota, I believe was the place, I'm not sure. We refueled there, and then it was straight to Vietnam. We landed at Bien Hoa Air Base, and one of the things, I guess, vivid memories I have of that was all filing out of the plane, and as soon as you hit that door to go down the steps, you got hit with a blast of heat, felt like a furnace. The hottest air I'd ever felt in my life. It might not have been, but it sure felt like it. And I spent 3 days there getting, I don't know if you call it orientation or what it was, but we exchanged, turned in some uniforms that they didn't want us to have in the field, stateside stuff, like a raincoat, which I could have used at one time during the monsoons. And also they had us turn in our field jackets. I thought, well, yeah, it's hot, we don't need them. Well, we were sadly wrong, because I remember at Christmas of '69 up at Dock Toe, it got cold. I mean, water froze at night. So we could have used those field jackets instead of those lightweight jungle fatigues. Anyway, like I said, we spent 3 days there. We finally got our orders to where we were going, individually where you were going. They'd muster us all up and they'd tell you, read your name out, where you're going. So then we went to the air base, a group of us, and they told us to board this cargo plane. Well, it was a C-123, one of those rear door opened up type planes, and there was no seats in that plane. They just herded us in there with duffel bags, and they just said, sit down as best you can. There's no seats, no seat belts, no nothing. So we flew from Benoit to Pleiku Air Base,